the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Alan Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he didn't have
He's doing all the time. Stricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
Speak my language.
Stop
You're
it.
speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God, hey.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24. With the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sheri Tills.
All right, welcome into What's Next 24. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, you guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Name and Text line. Facebook, YouTube, XL, Channel 961. All great ways to put a face to the voice. With that being said, we'll bring in the hosts as always, Mike and Sheri. And I know we got a great guest in the studio as well today.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. Welcome, Sheri.
Good morning, Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas. Welcome to Next 24 on 93.7 The Ticket FM, where joy is real, hope is alive, and your legacy starts right today. Here in the Lincoln. That's a little typo there, Michael.
Yep.
Here in Lincoln, we know that life's richest blessings aren't always loud. They're found in quiet moments, honest work, and the stories that shape us. Next 24 is a show built. Excuse me, I'm getting some sinus stuff here, you guys. I'm sorry. Next 24 is the show built on that spirit, a place to discover what happiness truly means and how to build a life filled with purpose, joy, and connection. Each week we share inspiring stories from folks who've walked through challenges, chased dreams, and found meaning in very unexpected places. It's about celebrating the everyday heroes, the small town dreamers, and the big-hearted believers who remind us that the next 24 hours can change everything. So pull up a chair, take a breath. Let's talk about what really matters. This is Next 24, where hope grows, joy is shared, and your legacy begins. That's good, Mike.
That is good. Well, joining us today is Carl Hinckley, better known as Crazy Carl, the founder of Norwex BMX and the driving force behind the Nowhere Compound. It's a 6-acre nonprofit BMX paradise nestled in Unadilla, Nebraska. What started out as a bold idea is to create a free, inclusive space for riders of all ages and backgrounds. It's grown into a nationally recognized complete facility with ramps, dirt jumps, a heated indoor park, and even the Midwest's only foam pit for safe stunts and training. Carl's mission goes far beyond the bikes. He's built a community where kids can find mentorship, confidence, and a sense of belonging, no matter their skill level or story. His work has earned national attention, including recognition from federal FedEx Small Business Grant Contest, and has welcomed thousands of riders from across the globe. Carl, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you are
I'm
here
excited.
today.
I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you here.
And I have to say thank you to JC Massey. I know, I'm sure he's listening. He's the one that said
that connected us. Absolutely.
To connect us together.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
So let's just kind of jump in, if you don't mind. Tell us about you first. Tell us about the.
You got quite a story.
Let's jump into early years.
Well, I mean, we're here in Lincoln, and I mean, other than a few small towns and stuff, I mean, I've been pretty much Lincoln my entire life. Went to school here, stuff like that, and I faced a lot of challenges throughout my youth, especially during the high school days. That was definitely my roughest time, and. But it was those challenges that have led me on the path that I am today in trying to help the community and trying to help the kids. And yeah, I guess I'm grateful for the challenges I had. But I'm doing my best nowadays to give kids a place to go that they don't have to face a lot of those challenges.
Well, Carl, share with me, as you told me on the phone, share some. I was surprised to hear some of the challenges you did face. Can you give me a few examples?
And if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to be pretty honest.
No,
because that's what this is about.
I think that's
we want
where
people to hear.
We might fail a little as society today is not being honest and bringing things
absolutely.
To the forefront. So I went to Northeast High School, and that was the toughest time in my life. During the 90s at Northeast, it was a very racially biased school where the races pitted against each other, and I got smacked around and beat up on quite a few occasions. Just because of my race, just because of races. And I'm from a very diverse family, so that didn't compute with my brain very well. And it put me into quite a mentally bad place. And that was my sophomore and junior year. And, when I tell people I've had a little bit of a rough background, they laugh when they hear Lincoln, Nebraska. But I mean, my neighbor's house got shot up, and he's in prison now for life, from what I remember. A real nice kid that was from the streets of Chicago that got moved here. And, I remember almost getting run down by a couple guys that were trying to rob 7-Eleven.
Wow.
When I was 16 years old, my friend and I, 11 o'clock at night, pedaling our BMX bikes as fast as we could. And right there on Cotner by Daylight Donuts, when they tried running me over at over 30 miles an hour as they cut through the island right there where there was a bank, and I just missed me by just a few feet, and then came at us with bats and chains. And it was, I mean, absolutely some wild stuff. I mean, that's just one of 50 incidences throughout my high school time, but BMX is where I found that inclusivity. And it was funny, you guys just had Josh Larson on the finish line, and talking about Oak Lake Star City BMX track. Well, Star City is where I found my place and belonging, where the races, nobody cared. We were all junkyard dogs, and everybody just from different backgrounds, and we all got along. And BMX, like, through the mental struggles I went through, saved my life.
How did you find it in the early years? What that first beginning?
So I was living on Horseshoe Lakes on the Platte River in Ashland when I was 13, 14 years old. And I remember the first time I went to Oak Lake. I can't remember if it was my dad or my grandpa took me on the very first trip, but I'd went to Oak Lake, and my dad raced motocross for like 30 years. And my dad was always my hero, and I wanted to be like my dad. So I'd try emulating on a bicycle what he'd do on a motorcycle. So went out to the track with my motocross leathers and my Kmart slip-on shoes that looked like Vans, went out there and rode the track. And then we'd heard that they raced out there and stuff. And I had seen the movie Rad in, 1986, 87 or whatever, when that came out. And it's like, holy crap, there's a bicycle thing like my dad does the motorcycle stuff. And we went out to Star City BMX, and we moved to Lincoln shortly after that. I think I was 14 when we moved to Lincoln after being out at Ashland for a while. But yeah, we got hooked and started going to Star City all the time.
Wow.
Was riding the bikes, so just in general, just getting out there riding bikes before getting to the BMX jumps and everything, just a place to escape, riding bike?
100%.
100%.
When I was living in Ashland, we had like a little piece of land behind our house. It was a forest, and I literally spent every day digging jumps, trying to make a motocross track for my bicycle. And I would just say, I didn't even have a radio playing. I had my golden retriever dog out there, and I just dug jumps.
See, what I've got to ask you talk about the BMX, but the bike, I was reading, it's a Stingray, correct? Remember the old?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, when I was growing up, everybody had what they called their Stingray.
Yes.
The banana seat.
Oh yeah.
The monkey bars.
Yep.
They were great. We loved them.
My brother had one, and I was so jealous because I had a cruddy old secondhand bike that I couldn't even sit on the seat. So I rode his all the time, and we'd fight over his Stingray.
That was right. That was the previous to my era. My first really nice bike my dad got me in Lincoln was the Kuwahara that was on the movie E.T. That was my first nice bike.
Yes.
Harrison, I gotta ask you, because you're the younger generation. Did you have a Stingray or BMX bike?
No, that did run through. There was a few people in Hartington growing up, and I think there's about 3 kids that got crotch rockets. And I think I took about like 1 accident, and then that was off the table for about most kids my age.
Because I remember the Stingrays. Kids would do jump on curbs, all that type of thing. Way back when I'm talking back in the 70s for me. But so that you found that to be an escape. What was next? Was it more of a competition? Where did you learn the idea? Hey, this is fun, but now I want to take it further.
I think when we'd moved to Lincoln, we went to I immediately went to Leffler Middle School, and I had never met somebody else into BMX. And I met a guy, Greg Joyce. He now runs the Legacy Retirement Communities. He's one of the best human beings I know. One of my biggest supporters, best friends. I met him, and he was like the guy straight out of the movie Rad. In essence, he had a shed where him and his buddy took apart bikes and everything. And so when I met him, I'm like, this is the coolest guy I've ever met. Like he had a crank apart where I saw the bearings and stuff. And I'd never done that. I had my bike, my dad got me and everything, but to see somebody that was like living BMX, who was like, this is the coolest human being. And like, I wanted to be like him and his other buddies. And they took me into their little group, and so junior high was awesome. I loved junior high at Leffler with my BMX buddies, and we rode Piedmont all the time right there by 4-Star Drug. And we dug a little jump that we rode every day after school.
So during those school times, was someone you become your mentor in this? Someone help you along the way?
Yes. Lincoln has a lot of people don't know Lincoln has a very rich history when it comes to the sport of BMX. There's three individuals I can think of that really made a big difference in all our lives. One is Tony Hillhouse. I don't know if you guys have heard of Tony, but he's a big sound guy, and he was a professional vert rider, and he was one of the best. His nickname was Dr. Smooth, and he had a vert ramp in his backyard, but he would invite all the kids to ride. He just wanted people to ride with, and he was very welcoming, very nice guy. And then there was a really tall individual named Frank Stewart that lived in Fairbury, Nebraska. He grew up in Jansville, I think it's called, right next to Fairbury. Big, ginormous ramp set up in the middle of nowhere, literally. And he was that same type of person. And
tell us, because I think there's some people out there, a lot of people that don't know what BMX means. What is a BMX bike? What does BMX stand for?
It stands for bicycle motocross.
Oh,
so
okay.
it literally, what I talk about trying to be like my dad. There's a documentary, check it out if you get a chance, called Joe Kid on a Stingray. And it's the history of BMX. And that's where BMX started, was kids trying to be like their dads or their heroes on a motorcycle. And they were trying to emulate the sport on trying to make that correlation with the bicycle and the motorcycle. And it just, and that was 60s, 70s, and now it's grown into an Olympic sport.
So your career went from your casually riding to jumping, but talk about you went on even further and competitive.
I did. Yeah. I mean, for right after high school was really tough, with a lot of friends and a lot of people getting into a lot of trouble. And so this is where that big stage of BMX really, I had picked up I won a larger underground contest when I was younger. When I was 19, I won a contest in Rockford, Illinois, at a skate park called the Pit. And I rushed home and told my dad, I was like, I won my first pro contest. I was so excited. And that then I jumped in a van, not much longer, drove 27 and a half hours to St. Petersburg, Florida, and rode the X Trials to compete in the X Games. And I told you, as we got in the studio, I got my butt whooped. I was the kid from Nebraska that had to compete against Hoffman and Muron and all the big names. And I didn't fare in the top 10 to make it or whatever, but man, I had so much fun and it was neat. I'm pretty sure I was the first guy from Nebraska to
tell us a little bit about the X Games. People may not know. What did you experience?
So it's grown a lot. So back then it was a newer concept. It hadn't been around a long time, but it was, it was just vastly blowing up. And it's where they would take these ramps and they would set them up in different areas and stuff. And they weren't the most amazing quality back then. I always tell everybody that riding the X Games ramps were like riding 3D Excite Bike on Nintendo. Bop, 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 bop. You just felt every bump. It was just constructed in a hurry to make it happen. But to be, when I went, it was when Matt Hoffman was debuting the Evel Knievel bicycle, and I got to meet Evel Knievel. And just the amount of stuff they were trying to do around the sport was so neat.
Yeah.
And to kind of be a part of that growth, because I got to go to Matt Hoffman's contests all the time, and he's considered, the guy that really blew up the sport of freestyle.
Is he like that? Would he be compared to like the Tony Hawk of skateboarding?
Yeah, very much. Yes. Matt Hoffman is the Tony Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very nice guy.
Well, tell us, because I understand, we watched the video that you sent us, that you had an injury.
I had one injury that definitely defined what slowed me down, where you have the largest ligament in your body on your leg is your patellar ligament attached to the patella. And I ripped that clean in half, along with like ACL and damage to PCL, MCL. At like when I was in the hospital room, they had me feel my kneecap, and then my hand sunk into my leg. And at that moment, freshly married with my wife and I in the emergency room, I gripped the side of the bed and just tears, because I thought I'd never ride again. And got this. I wouldn't let the surgeon touch me there because he wasn't too accommodating to my sport. And I came here to see Dr. Matt Reckmeyer, which you might have heard of that name. He was a very well-known surgeon that worked on a lot of the Nebraska athletes and stuff. And he got, it took a while, but he got me back on my bike.
Well, tell us, when did I see it on your hat, the word term nowhere come from? Where did this come about? Was this is this when you began to think about what you're going to do next?
No. Well, yes. Okay. It's a complicated question.
Sure.
I don't know how got to where I am today, there's so many different crossroads that put me on this path. But to sum it up, that injury basically bankrupted my wife and I, where I was on a couch for the better part of a year, where I didn't know what to do with myself, and we had no money. And my parents helped us get into our first house in Palmyra, just a little house, get it, and when we moved into there were some kids in the neighborhood that, a couple of them dads weren't in the picture, and a couple of them were in trouble in school, and these kids would come over and bug me all the time. This is during middle of surgeries, because I had multiple leg surgeries, and they would come over and bug me because they'd heard of what I'd done on a BMX bike. And after a while, I'm like, I was coaching them on, hey guys, don't do drugs, finish high school, be a productive member of society. And they listened solely because of what I could do on a bicycle. And like a light bulb went off in my head. And I told my wife, I'm like, I want to work with kids. And, in a weird timing, like like this was all supposed to happen, that when the housing market had crashed, then we'd found a foreclosed acreage that, our in-laws helped us get. And that's what started it all. I immediately went on the news, and we started building ramps, and I went on Lance's Journal and started talking about, we got this free place. And it's kind of a wild journey that I didn't know I was going to be on.
And Carl, real quick for Harrison, give Harrison, what is the website? It's the Nowhere. What's
Nowhere, and nowhere is spelled like the clothes you wear. So nowhere, like you're not wearing clothes. NOWEAR. BMX.com.
Yeah, Harrison, if you can bring that up, take a look at this, because I think what's interesting with this is you had the concept, you buy the farm. Is this when you got to meet Jim Carveth?
No, I have known Jim since I was a kid, because Jim had the bike rack. When I used to go to Lincoln Schwinn even before that.
Yes, Lincoln Schwinn. Oh my gosh.
But I'm glad you mentioned Jim's name, because he is a literal, I get emotional thinking about Jim, because he's an angel. He has been our biggest donor to date, and we would not have accomplished what we have today without him.
And I want to add too that what Carl does, this is all nonprofit.
Correct. Yes. Well, if people do look me up, I have 4 different entities to Nowhere BMX, and one of them being, and the most passionate one, is the nonprofit. Yes.
From what I understand, Nowhere was originally you were doing a clothing line.
Correct, and that's where the spinoff. So I sponsored or partnered with a bunch of guys that I'd ridden professionally with throughout the years that were all from, coincidentally, small towns in the middle of nowhere. That's where everybody was from, was just places a lot of people hadn't heard of. So when I asked everybody to be on the team and everything, I was like trying to come up with a clever name. And I'm like, well, it's going to be a clothing company, and we're all from the middle of nowhere, and I'll spin that with where. And I didn't realize we were going to become a full-fledged bike company down the road, but that's where we are now. But that's the name derived from.
So you got great gear. And I want to get back to Jim Carveth. Jim Carveth, you don't know him, a Southeast grad. His father was Dr. Carveth.
Yep.
Lincoln remember him very well over at Southeast High School. He owned the bike rack.
Correct.
And Jim was a really good athlete. Went to Kearney State University. It used to be Kearney College back in the day. So know Jim very well. But talk about you had the idea for the compound. But how did this kind of begin to?
I've worked with a couple of kids that also grew up in the Havelock area.
Yeah.
That's where I had troubles growing up, and a couple of these kids got into some pretty deep trouble. And I told my wife as we were running this facility, the thing we're really lacking is we need to be able to work with kids year round. We live in the Midwest where we got harsh seasonal weather, and kids need places to go so that mentors in the community can be a steady part of their lives. And so when this concept of let's build an indoor came up and let's make it free, a majority of the people just thought I was nuts. Now, maybe even a lot of my good supporters thought, how are you going to pull this off? And they would always say, you can't do this. You can't do this. It's not sustainable. And when I kept hearing can't, I kept flipping it back, and I'm like, we can't not, because the kids need us. And that's the bottom line, because I was one of those kids. And if we'd have had a place like this when I was younger, I mean, it would have the difference it would have made in my life. I don't even.
Share the story though. How did you plan it, build it?
So my wife and so we had an outdoor ramp, and a friend of mine, Brian Ferragrino out of Omaha, sent me this FedEx grant contest. First prize was $25,000, then second 10, and then another 8 people would get $5,000. We entered this grant system, and I said, if we get first, we're gonna start up an indoor building. And so we were doing the social media contest, and we were blowing up. And we had more people vote for us that year than any. There were thousands of businesses that entered, and we were one of 10 that won a grant. And I think we got more votes than by anybody else by a lot. But then the last part was a submission where you had to write up what you want to do with the money, stuff like that. And they'd called us and said that we won one of the top 10. And so we won a $5,000 grant, which wasn't enough to start a building, but that's what sparked everything. So we got flown to Tennessee to the main FedEx hub. We toured it, got to meet with all these marketing reps, and I told them what I wanted to do. And they said, you need crowdfunding. Well, we were just catching that tail end of crowdfunding before it got oversaturated like it is nowadays. We ran something through something called Indiegogo. It was like a Kickstarter. And we fundraised for a full year where I basically almost spent all my time trying to fundraise, and we raised just over $14,000 that year.
Wow.
Which wasn't a lot. No, but it was a chunk to start. And the bigger part of my wife and I talk about, I probably racked up 20 grand in credit card debt while I wasn't working enough, just trying to push towards this. But it was about getting our cause out. And that's what really got things rolling was, and I apologize if I go off track. I have a squirrel brain.
No, you're good.
So, but this is very important because I want to talk about lessons all the time with kids. And this is one that I always talk about. As we were getting ready to do the building, we'd had $14,000. We'd just spent $6,000 on concrete, and then from there we're like, what do we do? This isn't a lot of money, to do a building. You're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there was a guy that I'd sold a 4-wheeler to on markets. I was very broke this month, and I needed to sell my dirt bike or my 4-wheeler to pay the insurance to cover all what we're doing. And this guy offered me $500, way under what the 4-wheeler was worth, and said that he couldn't come for another week. And I said, yeah, that'd be fine. In the meantime, I sell my dirt bike. I don't need the money anymore. He gets a hold of me that next week, and he says, I'm ready to come out. There was no money down. There was no anything. I'd just given him my word. This is important, kids. This is why your word means everything, because it can always roll around. And so when he got back a hold of me, I said, well, I sold my dirt bike. Don't need the money, but I did tell you I agreed upon selling you that motorcycle, that 4-wheeler. So he came out. And as soon as he came out, he big jacked up diesel, very nice truck. Tell he was doing well for himself. And he goes, holy crap, what is this place? And I took him around and everything. And he's like, how can I help? I own a construction company. And I'm like, well, here's how much money I have, and we don't know what to do. And that year, he out of pocket paid his crew to come out and erect our walls. And then we bought used trusses, and he helped put the trusses on, and he just paid them out of pocket. You can't write off labor. He paid this out of pocket. And the donation turned into tens of thousands of dollars. How he helped us stretch this several thousand we had left. And so is his name Peter Fran, I think, the guy. He's not at Journal Star anymore, but he came out and he said, I called the Journal Star and I said, holy crap, this donation, please, can we talk about what this guy's doing right now? And they came out, and we were front page of the Lincoln Journal Star. And it talked about my background a little bit, gave a very in-depth and very good story. And that's when Jim called us and took me to breakfast.
I see we need to take a break. We'll be right back a little bit more with Carl Hinckley and the founder of Norwex BMX.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
They're too young to vape.
E-cigarettes are the most used tobacco products among youth. They know vaping is dangerous, don't they? The majority of youth who vape use flavored products, the kind designed to seem harmless.
If they were vaping, I'd be able to tell.
Many vapes are small, discreet, and resemble everyday items. Don't avoid the conversation. Talk to your kids about vaping. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired in association with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing a family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Bros Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sheri Tills.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, this is What's Next 24, segment number 2. We got a great guest in the studio, Carl Hinckley, along with the host, as always, Mike and Sheri. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. We're having a great conversation with Carl Hinckley, known as Crazy Carl, the founder of Norwex BMX and the compound. I want to jump back around with your meeting that you had with Jim Carver. That sounded like a pivotal moment. Share that story.
It really was. I'll tell you, after we still didn't know where we were going to, how were we going to fundraise? How were we going to get enough money to continue making a dent and making big things happen? And after that news story came out in Lincoln Journal Star, Jim contacted me, and I'd known him just from meeting him at the bike shop, you know, and stuff like that. And he knew who I was because of my career and stuff. And Jim invited me to breakfast. So we go to Bagels and Joe, one of my favorite spots, by the way. So we go to Bagels and Joe, and Jim sat me down and he said, you know, what can I do? And I'd had this pamphlet all written out that was what we'd do for sponsors and people that could help. And at the bottom was, you know, this, you know, $5,000+ donation area. And Jim had explained to me, he said that, you know, he'd heard my story in the Journal Star, my story about being bullied quite a bit in high school and a rough time there. And he said that, his words were God had put him in a fortunate enough spot to help, and he wanted to help. And he wrote me a check for $5,000 that day. And he said, I want you to know this is not the end, and I'm going to be with you on your journey. And there's one moment I really want to speak about Jim that was even more pivotal to me personally. So then the wheels were rolling, everybody was excited, and we kept kicking butt on this indoor project. We were stretching these donation dollars as far as possible. I bought used tin, used trusses, 84 lumber. Big shout out to Jeremy, the manager, 84. He was selling us coal pallet lumber, very discounted, the best they could, sponsoring us. And like a lot of that attributes to how we were able to end up. I mean, we have close to $1 million facility now that was built for $200,000. Wow. So during the struggle times of we got to get this going, we had just got tin up. It was used tins. There were 20,000 holes in this tin. What are we going to do? We got to hurry up and get these filled and going. We needed spray foam. And so then Doug Blaney from Nebraska Spray Foam heard that we needed spray foam, and he came in. He's like, I will donate the entire labor of the job, which is an astronomical job. It's a huge building. Spray foam's a lot of work. And he contacted the actual spray foam company, told them what we were doing, and got them to discount the material and another $7,000. So we needed $17,000 for a $50,000 spray foam job. Well, we had our donation jug out at all our shows that we were performing at and everything, and we'd raised almost $7,000. And we were doing a bicycle rodeo stunt show for Jim, because we always like to go in and help Jim at his big rodeos because of what he'd done for us. And we get done doing this show this one day in a church parking lot over by Bike Rack at 33rd and Pioneers. And he goes, how are you guys looking? I said, well, pretty good, Jim. You know, we've raised almost $7,000. You know, we're shy about 10. And, you know, I wasn't asking by any means. I was just stating what was going on. He goes, well, you'll do great. And like pats me on the back, and he proceeds to give out 50 helmets to local kids, you know, under his own dime and everything. Just greatest person in the community. And then after that weekend was over, that following week, I checked my mailbox on the way out on my taking my to pick up my kids from school, and I pick up the Bike Rack envelope or whatever, and I'm like, oh, cool, I got something from Jim, and I drive to the end of my gravel, and I open it right before I turn into the highway, and it's a letter from Jim that's hanging up in my office, that just talks how proud of he is of me and how he wants to continue with the mission, and was a check for $10,000. And I literally, we had worked so hard and this was so much that I just put the hazards on. I didn't pull it and I just started crying. Like it was such a moment. And I've tried to explain to Jim what he has really meant to us and what he's done. I don't know that he truly grasps because it is.
I want to make sure we get this in, Carl. Tell us today the size and scope and what the atmosphere like is today at this compound.
Yeah. So you know what it is. I'm still in awe every day that we ride with these kids. And I was just sitting with this new guy that just moved here. He's the main Red Bull rep around the area. He's from Omaha, and he's all excited about riding our place now. And him and I were just sitting up in the parents area last Thursday together. And he was asking me all about the place. And I said, I'm still in awe. Like, I can't believe we did this. Like, I'm so happy. And when I watch the camaraderie of a scooter kid to a skateboard to a bicycle, and to watch the unity going on in our building and how respectful everybody is and they build each other up and everything, I am just filled with joy as I sit up and watch this.
For a family or young kids who've never been at there, what can they expect when they pull up? How does this work?
A family-friendly environment that embraces inclusivity and that will build your kids' confidence for their personal level. That's the big thing. I think a lot of times we fail in a lot of sports is we're always looking for that next superstar. We're not looking for to build the next superstar. We are looking to make your kid feel like a superstar and build them to be their best selves. And that is the biggest thing.
Tell us then the process.
So you come
take
out
us through it.
Yeah. So you'll come out, like I'll probably have a new family today when I leave here, and we open up at noon today. But typically a family will come out, and sometimes the kids are either excited or nervous, because you don't know what to expect. But they're usually greeted by myself or my superstar volunteer, Wade Oldrich, who's there at every session to help out. And we're like, hey, what's your name, buddy? Let's check out your bike. If you don't have a bike, we'll loan you a bike for free. We have loaner helmets, everything is free. And that's the big thing. So we sign a waiver. That's very important. Parents understand that don't bring the neighbor kid. The parents have to sign because, we have insurance and we have to protect ourselves and everything else. So I need a legal guardian to sign that. And if the legal guardian can't be present, we got to get it notarized. But that's one time. We keep it on file. So you get that, and we get that out of the way, and then let's tour the park. And if you don't want to ride today and you just want to watch, then just watch. But we make sure it's very, very friendly and that they feel very welcomed.
Can you share some success stories?
We were talking about this kid right here. Brought you guys a poster of Jacob Thiem from Kennard, Nebraska.
Am I at the right camera here?
Jacob is our literal rock star. So Jacob started coming to us and hanging out with us when he was 11 years old. And he's in his 20s now, and he's one of the best in the world. Just competed in Munich, Germany, where he beat out even his teammate for Huffy, Nick Bruce, who's an Olympian. And Jake just won this contest. I mean, Jake competes against and with the best in the world, and he's from Kennard, Nebraska. It is awesome. So he stayed almost every summer with us. I remember my wife going out. We had a ramp right behind the house that would have lights on, and it'd be 11 o'clock at night, and Jacob is still riding. And my wife would go, Jacob, I've got to work tomorrow. Shut the lights off. Go to bed. But he traveled with us everywhere. We took him to contests and everything. And it's just so neat to see. Now he is the nicest kid. I mean, he's always been the nicest kid, but he is an inspiration to younger kids. And he shows that, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can accomplish anything you want. And, he's done the state fair with us almost every year in the 11 years that we've been at the Nebraska State Fair. He'll be here this year again. Come meet him, please. But he really wants to be a positive influence. So not only does we talk about being a people's champ, and that's what I have always told Jake, be a people's champ. It doesn't matter. People forget about what contests you win, but they'll never forget the memories and the times that you took the time as a professional athlete to ride with them one time. And that is Jacob.
I've also noticed that you've hosted events like Nebraska's BMX Freestyle Series and the Middle of Nowhere contest. Talk about those contests.
Oh, absolutely. We've hosted for Cornhusker State Games 8 years now. We just finished our 8th year. Dave and Scott are wonderful people. We love the state games, and we were so proud to be a part of that. And
are they at your facility? The competitions, these competitions,
yes.
the games at your facility.
Correct.
Okay.
And my wife and I earlier on hosted a set of contests in the Midwest at different backyard ramps, stuff like that. But once we got our indoor, and it was last year, I really, there's an individualism to this sport that attracted me to it personally. I wasn't cut out for football, team sports, stuff like that. And so I was attracted to BMX and the individuality. But the thing I think we miss then sometimes is that team atmosphere of community. And once in a while, you get little pieces of it, as I talked about Star City when I was younger, stuff like that. But even then, racing has that, because you have people that collectively get together, they race, it becomes that. Now, freestyle didn't have that. Freestyle was kind of all over the place. At least that's the way I'd felt around here, that I wanted to try and give everybody an excuse to get together, to brag about your kids. There's something great about the competitive nature that brings people together, and it's just awesome. So I launched the Nebraska BMX Freestyle. This is our first year, and we've had 4 rounds. We're getting ready for our 5th. It has gone amazing, not just for the kids, but all ages. I've been joking lately that I got these dads that are in their 40s and 50s, that half of them started riding to just do it with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're poking at each other in the shop because it's gotten so competitive in the best way, where they're like, are you secretly training? Is Carl opening this place because now you've learned this trick and everything? And they're always messing with each other. And I've got a friend that I grew up with in Lincoln here. His name's Mike Will, and he's one of the nicest kids. And he was he's a full-blown adult like me. I'm still a kid in my head. Maybe it's because what we do, but he at the last competition, he's a little heavier set, and so he's using BMX to try and, and he was a BMXer when he was young, and he's trying to stay healthy and stuff. But he, as a larger adult male, he rode so good at this last contest, and we were almost in tears. However, after he pulled a couple tricks, how everybody just stood up and the whole place just shook with noise, and it almost made me want to cry. We were all so proud of him. And to have that for a guy who's in his mid 40s, that's a neat moment, because as adults, we don't get that a lot. We kind of lose it when we're, from when we were younger. And it's neat to see the kids and the adults and everybody still being able to grow and achieve things and have goals. And that is so important, because I think you and I talked about, Michael, that not everything is about being the biggest and the best. It's those personal achievements. So he's not going to win $1 million or go to the X Games or anything like that, but he's so much richer inside for accomplishing something that he set out to do. And we always need to have that in our lives.
We need to take another break.
Go ahead.
And Harrison, I'm sorry, I need to ask you this really quick. Do you have a lot of girls to come and do
Yes,
that?
my daughters both ride. And
okay, cool.
Come see them at the Lincoln Fair.
All right. We need to take another break, and we'll be right back.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
We've been hunting these fields north of Kearney since high school. My buddy Ryan has always been my wingman, the life of the party. But I saw a change, and he got really down. Talked about his life being worthless.
If you know someone who's struggling, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Taking care of friends and neighbors. It's what we do in Nebraska. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sheri Tills.
All right, welcome back in to What's Next 24. Here's turns to the ones and twos. We got Mike, Sheri, the host as always, as well as great guest Carl Hinckley in today. From Facebook, this one from Jeremy says, my boy started riding in December and at nowhere and has been one of the single greatest things that has happened for our boy. He has built his confidence, that has made real friends. What an amazing man and environment. So you got some real time evidence right there that what they're doing is great work out there. With that being said, I'll throw it over to the host, Mike and Sheri.
Carl, I want to turn it right over to you. I know there's some things that you would like to talk about.
Yeah, there is. Before I
start with this, okay.
I forget so many things. I want to make sure before I even mention that, I have to give the biggest thank you to my wife.
Give me next on that one.
She is the reason I'm able to do what I do. She puts up with it. Sorry about getting emotional, but I just love you, honey, and thank you for supporting what we've done over the years. And so now we're getting to the biggest emotional thing that I want to pay tribute to one of the best friends a guy could ever have. He was killed by a drunk driver a little over a year ago. His name was Jeremiah Droscher. Sorry.
That's all right.
We did a Journal Star was nice enough to come do a story when we were at the Super Fair last year, and we'll be again, so please come see us. Jeremiah was a kid that I worked with since he was a teenager out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, and he had a troubled past. And I always believed in him and wanted to help him out, and he grew to be one of the best human beings we'd ever known. And he started mentoring kids. He did every show with us for almost 15 years, and he was hit by a drunk driver last year on his motorcycle. And
I remember hearing about it.
Yep. So before the show, you took a picture of me, and I gave you a symbol with my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the symbol with my hand is growing up from what I'd learned in the punk rock industry. I was very big into punk music and BMX and skateboarding and everything. Is, this was the symbol you threw up the horns, like Ozzy, and that's what you did. Jeremiah used to, whenever I'd throw up the horns, he'd always give them back, but his thumb was out, and he'd broke his pinky, so his pinky always relaxed a little bit. So I have a tattoo on my arm. You'll see the pinky is down a little bit, the thumb is out. My wife and I didn't realize till years later, Jeremiah had a lot of subtle, fun things that he might not have told you, but that was when he gave the symbol back. He was very appreciative of us and loved the team, and we were his family, outside of blood. And he would always say he loved us. And we have a big memorial that's up in our building, and I just wanted to make sure I paid proper tribute to somebody I loved very dearly.
That's wonderful. Carl, tell us a little bit in terms of right now. What do you need? You need help as far as
we
volunteers,
do.
money. Well, I want to make sure to get this in.
We've
how can
accomplished.
people volunteer?
Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, we need to partner with more businesses. We would love it if somebody that knew how to write grants could help put us in the right direction and help volunteer. Because, my wife and I, we have great volunteers out at the compound that help work on bikes, that help the kids and everything else. But to fundraise, it costs us about $25,000 a year to just break even for the insurance and the heating and, and stuff like that. And right now we're trying to fundraise to extend the building, because guys, we're so popular and we have so many families out all the time that we can't accommodate them all. And we've had Sundays over the winter where there's over 100 people trying to ride in an 80 by 80 building. Wow. And half of them will just leave because we're not big enough now. So we're trying to extend it by a third. We want to build a mini ramp room dedicated to Jeremiah. His nickname was Maya, so it'd be called Maya's Mini Ramp right now. And so that's what we need. We need help partnering with more businesses and being able to fundraise and stuff like that to not only extend, but just to keep the cost going so that we can, because right now I just paid the insurance out of pocket on third quarter on my own because we don't have the funding right now. So
Carl, we've only got about 2 more minutes, so we like to always turn the mic over to you, to our guests. What would you like to say to the community?
Guys, for one, please come out and visit us. But what I'd like to say is, being once a kid in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's struggled through a lot of rough times, know the importance of giving kids a place to go, and that we need to invest in community. That is the most important thing, is investing in places like ours. And we lost our roller skating rink and all these other. You can't just throw kids in front of an electronic and expect them, and then when they start acting up, because I was crazy as a kid, and then you can't just throw pills at them to solve it. Kids need to exude that energy, and they need places like ours to do so. And then that's where they build those bonds and those relationships. And it is just so vitally important to the future of our society that we do that.
I'm going to hold this up real quick. Get out to the state fair. Get out to the state fair and see what these guys do. You would be absolutely amazed.
And Super Fair, because we're in Lincoln. Come see us at the Super Fair as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? Bring your kids.
Yes.
Because I guarantee you, once some of these kids see what these guys do, they're going to be hooked.
Yes.
All right.
They're going to be hooked.
Sherry, I hear the
And
music.
It's a lot cheaper than some of the other
Sherry,
things.
I hear the music playing in the background, and we got to get going.
Harrison, you always do that to me, buddy, but I still love you.
Carl, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
everyone. We'll see you next week.